Ready for the mosh pit, shaka bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StrangeCast Play One vs. World Life is Strange Fan Podcast. This is episode 119, Side A. This is the Patreon special episode. I'm one of your co-hosts, Adnan and Riaz. My co-host, Adam Evalt, is here. Adam, you here?
I am here. Here I am. My name is Adam.
Yes, here you are, and you are Adam as well. The second coming of Adam.
I am.
So yes, we're back. Obviously, this is our Patreon episode for the month of October. We are recording the 2nd of November. So thank you to everyone on the Patreon tiers who submitted questions, and to everyone who supports us via Patreon. This is the custom-built episode of the Lost Records Journal X StrangeCast that we do. And before we start as well, we explain that for people who don't know that. If you are new here, please do consider dropping a subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video, share with your friends. We've crossed 2,100 subscribers. We're trying to climb to 2,200. So if you can support us, that is amazing. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So check us out on Spotify with the video version, Apple Podcasts with 339 followers on Spotify. We have 50 ratings on Spotify. So if you can rate us and follow us, it helps boost our visibility and push us out to other people as well. And we're on the other podcast services as well, so you can check us out there. So yeah, this is our Patreon episode. For anyone new, we basically build a podcast episode per month off the Patreon users. It is a crossover between Lost Records Journal and also StrangeCast. Lost Records Journal is going to go through a different phase, so bear with me with that. But basically, we build the topics off what you guys suggest in the comments on that. So you can support us on Patreon. There's 2 different tiers. Everything that is taken from the Patreon goes back into the funding of this channel, with other projects that still working on and putting in a pipeline. So bear with me. It's been I'm in the tail end of 2025, and Adam sees my behind the scenes things. There's just a lot of moving parts. So hopefully, I'm hoping that things kind of pick up in terms of a conveyor belt. So that's where we're at. So Adam, should we kick things off with our first part? Yeah. First couple of questions. Our first question, if anything.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Let's do this.
Absolutely, to come back, and there's a lot of things to talk about. So I'm going to move us over here, and you see us on the video version. So, Adam, I think I'm just going to make an executive decision here to start with, and I think maybe we go with this one because it kind of addresses a elephant in the room. Where is he now, Kevin Kestis? Right, I'm going to scroll down. Hang on a minute. It is here. Something to do with Ruth Radelet and Sam Bradley. Am I missing something here?
Oh,
there is. Yep, there is. There's a question. So there's a point. It's what so Kevin Kestis submits saying, I enjoyed the Ruth Radelet interview and can't wait for Sam's interview.
Yes. That is a question that I would love to address. We hated Sam Bradley. The whole interview was just trash. He just trashed me the entire time. Can't stand Sam Bradley anymore.
Well, you deserved it, though. I'm going to take Sam Bradley's side on this one. But yeah, thank you for the comment, Kevin Kestis. I think the Ruth Radelet interview is interesting. I hope Ruth does more interviews as well. I mean, she even admits she is more open to putting herself out there. She's very interesting. I think the one of the things that's always sometimes where you can take a conversation down a route like Lost Records, you don't hear the other stories. So when I was saying of her in London, I saw her in London, by the way, as well.
Yes.
So
you got her last name right, which she was very pleased with. Which she said that a lot of people don't say her name correctly. I'm like, who doesn't say her name right?
Funnily enough, on
it's crazy.
Yeah, funnily enough, on the shorts video, someone's put it saying that's how you pronounce her name, and it's like, yeah. Because it's people put it's Radelet or Rad something, but it's obviously Radelet, and she's put it in her bio. So when you pronounce it, it kind of it's a bit more clearer. But yeah, it is. It's like Luke Bag of Dust or Luke Bagadoost.
Or Michael
Colch, cowboy hat. I'm going to get a cowboy hat for this show, so I can just tip it every time.
Yeah.
Colch watch. So yeah, no, I'm glad with that, because when I spoke to her in London, she I think those are the personal stories, which I think when you do journalism and you talk to people, those are the stories you really want to tell, but they never really get out onto podcasts, just in sense of humanized experiences. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and it is one of those where I think she's a really fascinating woman. So that's it's great. But I think with Sam, why I addressed this first, with Sam Bradley's interview has obviously been done. You see in the post, again, it has just been a lot of moving parts, and we're fortunate to just get StrangeCast and stuff out at the minute. So thank you for being patient with me. Just to give you some timeline perspective, because if you're watching as well, and it means I don't have to keep tweeting about it. And if Sam, if you're watching, breaking the fourth wall, hello. My plan is to edit this on the 10th of November, starting that week. I've got a lot more time in that week. So my plan is to try and edit the first part, if not both parts, and get them out in the same week. or going into the same week. So I will edit it in one full video as well if you want to watch the full thing afterwards. But the plan is to basically get it out in that week. So bear with me, it will come in that week. And I'm very excited for you guys to see it as well, because it is a really interesting interview. Like, it's basically gonna be 2 parts, because yeah, I think that's when you really get the really fine details of a really interesting game and what an art director is really producing into that game. And he is a really he's a really interesting guy, Sam Bradley, and his story and what he's done. So I think like that's basically it. But they're really interesting. I'm glad that the Ruth Radelet interview went down well. I always get really cautious when I put interviews out. I'm like, is everyone going to hate me? It's like, did I not ask this question about Ruth Radelet? And I'm like, oh,
Do you do this thing like, I hope no one hates me
yeah,
here. I hope nobody.
full on that every time. I'm always like, I could ask that question. No, it's good. I'm glad though that people enjoyed it. It was an interesting video, and it's like you have to work within the parameters of someone who hasn't played the game, and she's a musician, and you have to go down those kind of things. But I think it was interesting to hear the perspective that she gave, and she's very eloquent with the way she says things. So we've got really great guests so far. We've had Luke and Michelle on, then we've had Ruth Radelet, and then we're gonna have Sam Bradley, and Sam's interviews. Great. I can't stress it enough. Like, I just think about some of the things that he was telling us, like in the podcast, and like conversations around lost records and perspective on art. And I think you really can get fascinated by what he's saying with the way the game is made, and what he added as well, and what some of the developers don't know that he added, that some of us we haven't found yet either.
Yes.
So 100% in the Netflix game. Oh, Netflix is exactly going to be like, why is there a dog on that wall? And why is that dog sat next to a mushroom? And it's just like Sam Bradley inserting like self little references in there. No, very, very cool though. So that's that. Adam, should we go into our next piece then?
Oh yeah, let's do this. Let's hear from the other Kevin.
I wasn't going to pick the next Kevin, actually. I was going to go up to one of the new
Oh,
ones.
good. I hate that Kevin anyway.
So I'm going to go for here. So the Lost Fan recently became a new Patreon user, so thank you. And we're just going with the easy question there, which is, have you ever thought about doing an episode where Adam does a British South London accent and Adnan does a Philly accent for the whole thing?
So I've already done my boy hell going to the chemist. Can you give us your best Philly accent? And I think I've lost a lot of my Philly accent since I moved around a lot. So give your best just American accent besides South. Like not Texas, just like what I say.
I can't do it. Last time I did an American accent, it was plastered on my wall forever here. There's a drawing here of one that a girl called Scarlett sent me, and it says, yo, I'm taking out the trash dude, because I was taking the piss out of Americans, and she then drew it as a phrase, and it just says it on the wall every time I look at it. It says, yo, yo, dude, I'm taking the trash out. I can't do the accent, unfortunately. No, I'm not very good at accents. Very monotone.
Yeah. A lot of the Philly accent is just like, you lack a lot of vowels. So if I just say like, okay, so how do you say like, what's another word for H2O, right?
Water.
What, you say it like that again?
Water.
Philadelphia, you say water.
No, that's not how I say. I do say water. When I say water, it reminds me of the guy from Wolfenstein. Do you know the guy that you meet at the beginning? It's like, water. What conducts electricity? Water. That's right. Greta, stop that. It's like Greta's just killing that guy on the floor. Great villain. Sorry, continue. Just went a complete time.
So if you say it like that, like water, like almost like if you say WOODER, like say it like that. Like if you give that a go.
Water. You say water?
Water. Like water. Like water.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you say it. Like, yo, let me get a glass of water. Hey yo, let me get a glass of water there. Or like a lot of people will get wrong in Philly. Like John. They like saying like, yo, like, oh man, that John over there. No, it's just like if you replace the word thing, you replace it with a John. So it's just like, hey, let me get that John over there. Like that's it. Just like even John, Philly doesn't really say it as often as people think it is. It's just like it's kind of a slip, like saying like, yo, what's that John you got there? You know? Or the worst Philly thing I've ever heard. And this was like a certain section of Philly, and it was like for a couple years, right? Hey yo, let me hail the Yank over there.
What?
Let me get it. Let me hold a yank real quick. Let me hold a yank. Like that means like, can I have $1? Can I get $1? It's like, hey yo, let me hold a yank real quick. That's Philly right there. That's just like nonsense. Philadelphia is just nonsense, and that's all you need to know.
Exactly. That's why Lost Records was not set there. That's why Michel did not set that there. And that's why Luke went there once and never went back again. He like went for his
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers concert and then came back and never went there.
It's like I can't go back there anytime again. It's like just you'll just see some bullies come up to Swan and be like, "Hey, yo, Swan, let me get that yank over there. Come on now, go and get some water over that John over there, man."
Exactly
It's
that.
like it's Boomhauser from Hank Hill from King of Hill. It's Boomhauser, right?
I think so.
Boomhauer. Yeah, it's basically Boomhauer, but in like an urban city, like an urban environment, right? It's just like if you just do Boomhauer, but in Philly, that's Philadelphia right there.
Oh god. So to answer your question, Lost fan, no, we're not going to do that because have you ever seen The Simpsons where like Homer's strangling Bart Simpson? I'm going to break the fourth wall in the episode. I'm going to just jump out out of this little box. I'm going to like grab Adam. He's like, "What? How have you done that?" And I'm like, "Shut up!" We already have enough of the British accent. We already have enough of the American accent. I think we just can't be doing it anymore. But thank you for the question, though.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it there. But Adam, we'll go into our next one. Let's go to the other Kevin that we just neglected. So it makes sense. We'll come on to Xavier's in a moment. So I'm going to zoom back out. A lot of Kevin Lackner questions. We'll come back to that one in a little bit. I'm going to try and make this a bit more Life is Strange focused, this part. Yeah, actually that one, Adam. Let's do that one.
Oh.
So rank the following locations from 1 to 7 worst from Life is Strange 1. The beach, Blackwell, junkyard, lighthouse, diner, Chloe's house, dark room. You can rank them on beauty, impact, creativity, or however you like to, of course. Have I missed a spot you'd like to add?
So I'm not gonna rank it on impact. I'm just gonna jump ahead. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go on to like where I like being in the game, right? Like what I like to explore, where I like to go, all that stuff. So I'm gonna say my least favorite first. Beach. Beach is probably like the most boring in that area, right? Because there's not a lot to explore. It's just like a lot to see. It's the beach. There's not really much to interact with. Like once you get to Frank, right? It's a little bit more, or seeing the whales. It's like some things, right? Impact though, I would put it in the middle. Like impact in the game because you get to see like the whales being beached. There's a lot more to do with it. I'm going with beach last, probably diner next in terms of my least favorite, like second and least favorite. So probably the diner. I'm also gonna say dark room. So I'm gonna go beach. Okay, so beach, diner, dark room. Okay, I got more. So beach, diner, dark room, junkyard. Yeah, I'm gonna say junkyard, and then lighthouse, then Chloe's room, and then Blackwell.
That's interesting. That
that's my.
You can't be throwing shade at the beach. Kojima likes beaches as well and whales.
Of course,
exactly. So that's what
yeah.
I mean. We have to.
I'm just saying, in the game of Life is Strange. Like it's, I don't know. There's not much to explore. Well, that's what I mean. If we're talking impact here, like I'll put it in the middle. But places I want to be in the game, like nah, not the beach. You know.
Yeah, maybe that's just I don't really want to be on the beach, but like I do think it's an interesting place. Yeah, those choices are really interesting. Let's have a look. So diner, junkyard, lighthouse, Chloe's house. So I would probably say the beach is at the bottom, just because the other stuff is quite strong. Yeah. I think it is really interesting. The rest
That's
of it,
like comparatively to the other places, I'm going to put beach at the bottom.
Yeah, I think the beach has to go at the bottom. So at that point, I'd say the lighthouse next, which I think is interesting for location and I like I love a lighthouse. For example, BioShock has one of the best lighthouse sequences ever. Like that opening shot is brilliant, but again, it just lacks that kind of like, it's nice to explore it once and, around that area and see it, but again, it doesn't have the same impact as the other places. I think the other places have like really big creativity as well on top of it. I'm not saying the Lighthouse doesn't, it's very central to that kind of theme, but I think it's great. So yeah, I think beach at the bottom, Lighthouse, and then I would probably say, ooh, it gets hard here. I'd probably put the diner next at that point because I think
Okay.
the
Yeah.
diner's nice and it's got the vibe. People go to Oregon now still, and they go to that diner where Life is Strange is based off of, and it's kind of like it's got a nice vibe to it. But I think like again, I'm not. Once you've been there and you've done everything, I'm kind of like cool. It is what it is. It's got some impact though later in the game, though. With it being basically like taken apart towards the end of the game. And then after that,
Yes.
I would probably say, I'd probably say the junkyard.
Oh,
So I think the
okay.
junkyard after that, because I think it's nice. American Rust is
Because
always great.
it's nice, but then you have to find the bottles and crap,
Oh god, like traumatic for like a long time. Yeah. So the bottles are like
Yeah.
bottles have their number on me, but yeah, it's nice. And again, it's it has its place in the purpose and the story and like the dough and all that stuff that happens, which is great. Um, and then I would say, what else have I got left there? I've got the Blackwell, I've got Chloe's house, and then I've got Darkroom, haven't I?
Mm.
I would probably say after that, it would probably be. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Blackwell, and I think it's because Blackwell's limited, in a bigger sense.
You're Are you putting Darkroom at the top and then
Actually,
Blackwell second?
actually, no, I put Blackwell third. I put Chloe's room, Chloe's
Oh,
house
right,
second.
right.
So I think Blackwell would go third for me because I think it's good. It's got really great aesthetics and everything
Okay.
else of it, and it's cool and vibey and it's small. I think that's a place where you could mess around with the remake a lot more with a Blackwell Academy and make things more spacious and stuff. And it's great. I think it's a great piece. Like, there's nothing that I can really take away from it. I think it's just limited because of, especially in 2025 standards, where we get ruined. Where we, I want Max to be in a watchtower at Blackwell, scanning the location so I can see it on my maps like a Ubisoft watchtower, please. Second would be Chloe's room and house. I think Chloe's room is very, very vibey. That's like, there's big nostalgic beats with that for whatever reason. I think it hits hard, and the house is really nice as well. And obviously Max go out and be like, "Oh, there's the dead cat on the ground." I'm like, "Max, like behave, introvert behavior," and she's just like talking about it. It's like, I'm like, go on. And then I think Darkroom goes to the top. I think Darkroom is very, very much creative at the top and impact as well.
Yeah, I would say Darkroom is definitely the top for impact for me. And I would say, did I put Darkroom at 3 or 4? I forget. I forget already my ranking. But yeah, like the Darkroom is like well built and it's well constructed in terms of like art, right? Like how Michel Co wanted that thing to look. It looked creepy. It fit the scene and the impacts of where it was located too. Like it would just like hit all the marks of like just an environment within the game. So yeah, I agree with that.
I take more with it as well because of the fact like when you basically play the game and you start realizing what a dark room is, then you start like, oh great, there goes my microphone there. I'll start maybe messing with that. Basically with me, the dark room as well, like you basically spend early parts of the game trying to figure out what it is and what it looks like, and you create like a preconceived notion of what a dark room is. And ironically, even when you see that door for the first time, it's quite menacing because you're like, what's actually in it? But ironically, it is a dark room. It's like a dark room for photography, which like in itself is like quite powerful as a theme of what it's actually saying. Because it's like when you realize it's the culprit, there's something even more sinister with the way that it's laid out and the way it looks. I think that's maybe the thing that really adds it to me as well. Like again, we could have played around with this like trauma element a little bit more with double exposure, but anyway, we'll leave that for another time. With the darkroom element, it adds that kind of fear of like what actually is it, but it's actually just a darkroom. It's like, hang on a minute, that's quite sinister in the way that it's being played out. It also is one of the greatest scenes of all time as well. Kick the table, David. I'm on it, Max. Get shot. So yeah, I think those are my picks. I think personally, I think those are the ones that I would go for from Kevin Lackner's things. I don't know any other locations or anything within the game. I think I don't think I really would add anything else to that. Would I add anything else to that?
No.
Close, no. I don't think there's much else. Maybe the gymnasium.
Yeah.
But that's a gymnasium, isn't it? Vortex Club Party. That would be
Yeah,
one.
you wouldn't be caught dead in that party though.
If Zed was there, I would be. I'd be like, right, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have arrived.
I'm here.
I have arrived, people. That's where I am. So yeah, I think those would be my picks. So thank you for that, Kevin. And I'm gonna move us over here, Adam. So let's go back up. Let's go for the new entry. We have Xavier here. Hello, Xavier. I had a
Hello.
question. Hello. So you put here, you guys have probably done in a previous podcast, but after listening to your re-review of Double Exposure, I need to know what order you both rank the main games in. Personally, I rank them Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange, Life is Strange 2 Colors,
Oh,
Life is Strange Before the Storm, and Life is Strange Double Exposure. I would assume that Captain Spirit is just attached to the Life is Strange 2
Life is
part
Strange
there.
too.
Firstly, Xavier's rankings. What do you think?
I don't think he's too far off from probably yours. That's probably how Adnan would rank his. Am I wrong? That's the
Close.
exact order of what you.
Close.
Yeah, you probably put Life is Strange over Life is Strange too.
Yeah.
Am I right?
My rankings last time I did it, and I think it'll flip. It always flips in one part. It is Life is Strange 2 / Captain Spirit. I put them together for it. Life is Strange 2 Colors, then Before the Storm, then Double Exposure. And Before the Storm and True Colors are interchangeable in my rankings. They always kind of move back and forth. I think when I play Before the Storm again, it'll probably move up against True Colors. But that's my order, really, to be honest, that I've gone for. So it's very, very similar to that.
Yeah. Well, like for both of ours, like and for Xavier as well, Double Exposure will always be at the bottom.
No, it should be at the top, Adam. Put it at the top. Put it at the top of your rankings, please.
Well, according to one of the comments for our Double Exposure re-review, it's like, was it Alex that said, I forget who commented this, but saying like, I'll say it, I like Double Exposure. I don't care who knows it. If you like Double Exposure, I hope if you paid money for a video game, I hope you enjoy that video game. Like that is my hope. If I don't like it, right, that's just on me. But like if you paid money for a video game, I hope you enjoy it. So that's a good thing. But unfortunately, yeah, Double Exposure, it's on the bottom, man. It's on the bottom. For me personally, you're the original, man. I would say, yeah, for me, it's got to be Life is Strange. Man. I would say the rest of the four are just interchangeable, man, depending on like, because like, here's the thing. Okay, so like Life is Strange is always on top for me, man. Like it's just always going to be. And then True Colors and Before the Storm are interchangeable for second and third. But then like some days I think about Life is Strange 2 and like the impact on that. And so I would say Life is Strange is always on top for me. And then the other three games, they just kind of like rotate around like 2, 3, 4, and then Double Exposures. Like, so in my ranking, you just have 1 and 5, and then the other 3 are just like a carousel at that point.
Yeah, you basically have your Subway sandwich bread selected and the contents change every time you visit.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where I am. Like, I'm always gonna like Life is Strange, the first one.
Yeah.
True Colors like comes in every now and again, but yeah, I would say like there's that carousel in between. It just depends on my time of day, you know. Because like I think about, like I do think about Life is Strange 2 and like how much it nailed the climate even back then, dude. So, yeah, I would say that's the carousel for me.
Because you're a Life is Strange 2 hater, that's why, and you got converted over, that's why. It's an intro. I think the main ones for me is the interchangeables Before the Storm and True Colors, and I don't think it's because Before the Storm's a bad game or anything. I think it's because it's limited in its scope. I do have little niggling issues with Before the Storm, but I still think it's a very, very good Life is Strange game overall for what it was from an external developer that you had from that. And Webb and Chris Floyd and Co did really great job with that game. I think it was really good for a lot of beats and Daughter soundtrack like that. I think Daughter soundtrack kind of ascends to the top of that list sometimes. And True Colors is good. I think obviously went through a development tough period of that, and then also eventually came out, but I think like it got carried by a lot of great performances and the story and components and stuff. So Double Exposure, so hard, man. It's so, I think there's just revisionist history with that game. People are really trying to cope with it, in my opinion, Like it's got good
Which
beats in it, but not enough to really hold itself. It really just fall apart so quickly.
I think if it was his own Life is Strange game, and if I say this all the time now, like even after replaying it, man, if it was under good management and if it was original characters, I think that game could have been really special.
Yeah,
But the fact that it went through a revolving door of developers, it was not managed well. It tried to be, it tried so hard to
yeah,
be Life is Strange 1 that it just ended up missing the marks, but it just could have been so special,
it
dude.
could have
But
been. I think
yeah,
so for me, like it might relate to the comment on the podcast later, but it's like for me, I stick by my idea that if I was going to make it, it would have been Safi posing as Max as a shapeshifter, and the
Mm.
reveal is at the end that you're not been playing as Max. Like you have like trinkets of like little information that explains that this Max is out of character for this reason, and like you basically you're also making that punch effect of Safi's mom makes admissions, Yasmin makes admissions to Max about Safi,
yeah,
but she's actually admitting it's Safi instead, and that makes it even more impactful when she sheds her skin later in the game because you're like, actually, hang on a minute. And the thing is, you could play it so well because you could be like, you're playing as imposter Max as you are there, and you place information about who Safi is. It's that constant reference. It's very similar to like, Would You Kindly from like Bioshock or something like that, where you're constantly teasing the theme of the narrative of the game, and it's like we're waiting for the suspenseful M. Night Shyamalan plot twist, which is what I'm going for. But I
yeah.
think it works in this execution because I think that would be interesting because like I know some people have had, well, I've had like a lot of conversations about it, and some people really like the idea that I had as well. And then one person was like, "Would you not cheese people off by the fact that you're not playing as Max?" I'm like, "That's not the point, though." I was like, my two messages I'm sending are that nostalgia is a bad thing sometimes because you wanted Max back,
Yeah.
and then when we brought her back, you couldn't even see what she actually looked like because you were just so blinded by nostalgia. And the second one was the
Yeah.
minute that Safi sheds her skin as Max, it's a coming of age story because Safi comes into her own, she accepts who she really is, and then you kind of like playing into one of Life is Strange's core DNA messages. But again, I'm not making the game, so it's just more about, I think, like as you said, essentially what you're bouncing off what you're saying. If it stood on its own, it could have been something. It could have been something interesting. It
It
just
could have.
felt so out of place. It's just weird. Even like bringing, you could have brought Alex Chen back or done something else with it. Just like messed around with different
Anything.
ideas and themes. It loses loses cohesion across a lot of problems with that game. So it has moments and it has okay moments, and a lot of talented people worked on it and saw their work get basically disintegrated by really poor decisions. So yeah, bit of a shame from that. But yeah, I think that's my rankings personally. So thank you, Xavier, for the question. Let's just keep this in the revolving door. So I think Xavier's now out because I think that was just one question they asked. And then I'm going to move on to Kevin Kestis again. Go through Kevin Kestis here. Um, so hang on, let me know. Let's have a look at this. So that one there as well. I'm curious to see what game Don't Nod will make with Netflix.
Are you though? Are you
You're
curious?
really convinced
You
to change
know,
things, aren't you? It could be anything though, otherwise.
I mean, it could be. I am 80% sure that it's Stranger Things only because of, okay, three factors here. Three. Number one, the financial reporting said a major Netflix in bold, right? So a major Netflix IP, and they are trying to get stock with their finance people, the investors, right? The stockholders and all that for you, essentially. They're trying to put faith in you. So a major IP, right? What's the one IP you think of with Netflix? That's a major IP, right? So that's factor number one. Factor number two, let's look at Lost Records. Let's look at Michel Coe. Let's look at his style, right? The way Donut can market themselves, we can do a Netflix IP, but specifically this. And here is our portfolio of like
Mm,
how we can do this justice, right? If you look at Lost Records of a coming of age teenage story, but there is a supernatural entity involved. That's Stranger Things, right? Um, and number three, the timing of Stranger Things, right?
mm,
The hype is so real right now. And then once this season ends, the fans are going to be like, that's it for Stranger Things. We have no more. And bam, they got you again with that. So it's like, it's a good selling point, not just for Donut to get more funding, but it's a good sell for Netflix that, hey, we can still hype up and get money from Stranger
yeah.
Things and get more subscribers and we don't have to do any of the work. Just Don't Nod does the work.
The
Sold.
the only
Yeah.
thing with that as well is because I'm just kind of thinking about it as well. Like the only thing is that I saw recently that Don't Nod did its presentation. I kind of tweeted about it last night because we
Mhm.
were recording the second, and like in there, they've removed the date for when the game's coming out because previously on their presentation said that Don't Nod Montreal's M2 project was going to come out in 2028. M2 is now the Netflix game, but it has no date on it anymore. So my only feeling was that if they did that, it'd have to be like some Stranger Things spin-off, and then also maybe it ties in with that, like a grander plan of like line of work that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Which because
I'm not saying it's like it's gonna follow the four boys. I'm just saying like it's gonna be Stranger Things. You
yeah.
know?
Which I think maybe that's maybe the splinter that they do because it wouldn't surprise me if Netflix looks like making a Stranger Things expanded universe kind of thing because like
Yeah.
it is one of the few franchises of TV history that's still kind of like got a massive popular fan base and following. It's very hard to kind of garner that now with a lot of TV shows. I think you see it was like Game of Thrones exploded, Breaking Bad had a moments with Better Call Saul, but eventually ended. TV has very hard cycles now. Like you know, Friends was a once in a generation kind of moment as well, and that's never going to be repeated now because TV is consumed in different ways. Same with Silo. Silo has like a little following. Ted Lasso has a smaller following, but it's not like huge cult following. So I think Stranger Things still has that Netflix template at heart because it has such a massive fan base.
And I think that's the only one that makes sense for both parties, for Netflix and Don't Nod. You know?
Yeah.
Because again, like I said in the last episode, like it could be Wednesday, maybe, because like it is still supernatural in a sense. But like we're talking about a major Netflix IP. There's not much in terms of like major that also is in the Venn diagram. If we're talking about like the Venn diagram of like Don't Nod and a major Netflix IP, there's not much that goes into the middle section other than Wednesday and Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Because again, I also brought up, are you really suggesting that Don't Nod Montreal is going to make a Bridgerton game or a Queen's Gambit game? Like it's not gonna that doesn't work. It's got to be Stranger Things or Wednesday. Like it's only one of those two. I will be shocked if it's Bridgerton. What if they do a Bridgerton game? I don't think, because again, it just matches with those three factors that I stated. Yeah.
Stylistically and tonally as well. I do want to see Philip back with Emma Myers in the recording booth. It's like again we have that repeat of the Whiplash thing. He's like, Emma, not my tempo. Come on.
Not my tempo.
And the next week you just see like the microphone just gets smashed through the glass, and he's like, "You're on my fucking tempo." No, I'm joking. I love Philip Bach. That'd be a great collaboration though with Philip Bach and Emma Myers. I think Emma Myers and Don't Nod Montreal would be great. That's something that I just want to see from at least Wednesday perspective. That'd be so funny as well. Imagine it's just a photo of like Michelle there with like Emma Myers.
Yeah.
And like there we go. It's like literally Max and Swan standing next to each other.
I wouldn't be shocked if it once was Wednesday. Like, I think there's still a good chance for it because they want to get more hype on Wednesday. And Wednesday already has a lot of hype, but not like Stranger Things does, right?
Yeah, I can't eliminate it for another reason as well, Wednesday. There's just a weird inkling dot that I'm trying to connect here. It's just a feeling that I have. And if it was revealed, I'd be like, oh, I can't believe I didn't connect it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it later. It's not like anything that I've been told internally or like anything I know or anything. It's just a weird feeling that I have that I just kind of like when you have that moment where you see something, you're like, hang on a minute. I'm like, okay. So it's just something that I was been thinking about recently. I was like, when we talked about it last time, I was like,
are you allowed to share what you're thinking about? Like, can we hear your thoughts?
no, because there's another reason I don't do it because it's just private. This is not someone's told me anything. It's more something I've seen. And it's like I don't want it to be more too public because I think it's too. I don't want to blur the lines. I think it's unfair for that kind of thing. It's just something I've have a gut feeling about. And again, it's not something that I know internally or something that's been said or anything else. It's just that kind of dot feeling. So maybe in a later moment I might connect it, but I'll mention it later.
Yeah.
Again,
in terms of percentage, like I said, it's only going to be one of those two IPs, right?
Yeah.
Wednesday or Stranger Things. I would say 60% chance it's Stranger Things, 40% it's Wednesday.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think to be honest as well, I wouldn't even move it. I'd move it to like 70% for Stranger Things, just because I think like that's the more likely scenario. It just seems more likely.
It fits.
Yeah.
You know, it fits Don't Nod Montreal specifically, especially after Lost Records.
Yeah.
You know, so
and also it wouldn't surprise me again if it's like Stranger Things ends now and then they do a splinter with a new series and this game complements that and it's something that kind of works in unison with it. So you kind of again create that expanded universe within the game. So yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. But yeah, it'll be interesting to keep an eye on it. So thank you, Kevin Kestis, for that question. Revolving door. Let's go back to the Lost fan here, so we can go onto the thing. Let's move myself out of the way. Oh, there is. Look at that.
Thingy.
Massive. Let's go back up here. Lost fan. Oh, let's go with this one actually. Actually, no, we'll save that one for the next part. So I'll run this one. Here we go. This one's for Adnan. Yes. How did you?
Of course. You're like, skip that one. We don't want to hear from Adam anymore. A question for me.
Exactly. I'm judge, jury, and executioner here. The Lost fan put here. This one is for Adnan. How did you discover Lost, and who's your favorite character? Mine is Sawyer. So here we go.
Can I just say, this is definitely Lost fan is definitely a Gen Z. Like, how did you discover Lost? I'm like, if you grew up in this era, you could not escape Lost. Like,
to be honest, so my story is interesting because I only discovered it. I didn't really like watch it or follow it, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, my story is really interesting.
I remember when it first came out, dude. Oh my god, like it was just everywhere, dude. It was like, I wouldn't say it was Stranger Things level of power, but it was pretty close, man, when it first came out. Well, like what I'm saying is that like there wasn't a lot of merch, like in terms of like Stranger Things.
Agreed.
Like you couldn't go into a Target and be like, "Oh my god, it's a Lost themed diapers."
Opportunity there. Lost is the show which has like pioneered pretty much every TV show that you've seen since the mid 2000s. Like the impact of this TV show is seminal. Like, oh my god, like as Adam said, it didn't have the merchandise and it wasn't commercialized, but this was in the, like, you know, Friends was in its later seasons. This was the 2000s. Prison Break had come out near around this time as well. TV was thriving at this point, and Lost was massive. It was just a hit drama on every level. So, like for me with Lost, I basically. So my way of finding Lost was I live in the UK, so it wasn't really it was huge here, but it wasn't as big as like America, for example. America, you couldn't escape it. But I was I was about.
That's true. You weren't in America, yeah.
Yes. So I think I was 17 at the time. I was 17, 16. I think I was 17. I was sitting my AS or A level exams here, which I think for the US audience, I was just past my secondary school or high school, as you would refer to. And I've now moved into the college era, which is moving to that period, and then obviously moving to university. But I was sitting my AS and A levels, and I used to follow an old YouTube creator called Hutch, who did Machinima Respawn and was a big part of the Call of Duty community. I love Hutch as well. He's still around as well in parts. But Hutch was a big Lost fan, and he would talk about it all the time, like when he was doing like his Call of Duty videos and stuff. And then for some reason, I was like, okay, I need to watch something whilst I make my notes, like for my history exam that I'm going to be doing. So I'm like, okay, I'll stick Lost on because he's mentioned it. I want to see it. And I watched the first episode and I was like, holy fucking shit. And I was like, I was hooked. I was like, oh my God, that was one of the best episodes I've ever seen, the first episode. And I binge watched the first 2 seasons within like days of my exam. And I was like, oh my God. I was freaky. I was like, I can't believe I just basically wasted all this time doing revision just watching Lost. Got hooked.
Yeah.
First season seminal, second season seminal. Obviously, the later seasons have a bit of an impact because of TV scheduling. They wanted to renew it. Still very good. I think the ending's fantastic. It's an unbelievable ending, actually. I think in retrospective, when you look at it, it's actually really smart what it's doing. Honestly, one of the best TV shows I've ever made, because name me a show, for example, where the main character is 12 people or so, because Jack is not the main character of Lost. There's multiple characters that are main characters. You have 12 main
Game of Thrones.
Let's not talk about that show. That was a terrible show. Like the first season of Game of Thrones was very good. The seasons afterwards were ridiculous.
Yes.
And a big spoiler if you haven't watched it, I don't know how you haven't yet. The killing off Robb Stark was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, because you killed off the main hero of the series and you didn't have anything to replace it. It just sends the series into all kinds of places. Not that you can't kill the hero. You have to make it reasonable how you do it. But with this though, this Game of Thrones pales into comparisons, this Adam. Like Lord of the Rings is better for measurement if you're going to make main characters with tons of side characters. This TV show, though, based on 6 seasons, where it had 12 main characters, a couple of who died over the process of things, and then also as well a massive supporting characters cast. Like not many TV shows can do it, man. You had like, you know, Sawyer, for example, and then you had Mr. Echo appears as well, and he was like fantastic. And it was like just Ben and you know, all the characters were great in this show. Sawyer is a fantastic character for a pick. I think Sawyer is so underrated. The fact that he's actually called Sawyer is even more funny as well. Like when they explain it, obviously Tom Sawyer, everything that's going in there. Yeah, unbelievable show. My favorite character, this changes every week, man. It changes every other week. My favorite character in Lost.
Mhm.
It's really difficult that. Oh, I just had it on the tip of my tongue then who it was. Oh no. So for me, it would be John Locke. I think John Locke is the best character in Lost
Mm.
because, like, obviously his name is based on a philosopher, which is in itself, like, quite telling for the message it's sending. But I think Locke is one of the most complex characters, and like Locke is like reflective of so many people in terms of like the adversity, the tribulations, constantly chasing something, not seeing things in perspective. I think his backstory is heartbreaking as well, like with his dad and all the relationship dynamics that he has as well, and the way that unfolds as well. You just feel so sorry for Locke, and it's like Locke is just constantly chasing who he wants to be.
Mm.
So that's mine for that. You watched Lost, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm more particular about Jin.
Oh, Jin's great.
Jin Soo.
Yeah. Oh, Jin and Sun.
I
I love Sun. Oh, Sun's
yes,
great.
I am definitely particular to that backstory.
Yeah.
That one really played out incredibly well. So, him and Saeed, like no Saeed, dang,
I love Saeed Jarrah. And even Hurley as well. I love
that
Hurley.
might be Saeed. It might be Saeed, dude.
Saeed's got a great character as well. I love Saeed's. My favorite was when he's on the beach with Hurley, and Hurley's what did you fight in the in the war? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I fought in the Gulf War. He's like, oh, cool. He's like, what division? He's like, the Republican Guard. And he's like, ooh.
Yes.
It's like,
Oh.
and it's like, oh yeah, like that's not happening. But yeah, I do have a very soft spot for Hurley though. Like in the later seasons when they go back in the
Mm.
past. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm writing Empire Strikes Back," because he's gonna get to it before George
Yes.
Lucas does. And it's like, and but it's going to spoil it. I'm sorry if you haven't watched Lost, but my favorite scene by far in the entirety of Lost is when they are in the past, and it's
Mhm.
what's the doctor? I can't remember what his name is now. The Dharma Initiative doctor is Miles's father. But he says to me,
Yeah.
he realizes that they are time travelers, that they have come back in the past. And he says to Hurley, asks him questions. He's like, "How old are you?" He asks him his date of birth. He's like, "You're 46." And he like looks at him. I was like, whatever age it is. And then he's like, "Who's the president of the United States?" And then he's like, "Who fought in the Korean War?" And he's like, "There's no such
Yeah.
thing." It's like, great show, great, unbelievable show.
Can I make an argument? And I was like just thinking about this while
Yeah.
we were talking about Lost and shows that like you just cannot escape from. Lost, like it had its hype and then kind of like steadily sizzled out.
Yeah.
Right. Heroes hyped and then kind of steadily sizzled out. Game of Thrones too. Can I make the argument that nothing just like got its height and then just dropped in the way of like nobody talked about it the way they did? Walking Dead. Like Walking Dead had so much hype and then out of nowhere, just people didn't really hate it. They just stopped talking about it. Not like in like 2000, I'm gonna say 2009, 2010. Am I right around that era? No, like when did Walking Dead come out?
It must be in
Am
the
I
mid 2000s.
wrong?
It
Am
must
I
have been
wrong
like
for thinking that?
early 2000s, 10s. I mean, sorry, 2010s. It wasn't.
2010, 11 seasons?
Oh yeah, of course.
It went on for 11.
When
God
did you
dang,
bail
dude.
on The Walking Dead?
Season 3.
I think I
Season
went
3, I bailed.
7 or 8. I think I went to, and then I bailed.
I bailed after the prison. Like the season where they're in the prison, I'm just like, it's so boring, dude.
Speaking of which, I'd throw another show in there, which is Prison Break. With what you're saying, people bailed on that very quickly when it went after
They
the second
bailed on
season.
Prison Break. Yeah, they bailed on Prison Break because season 3 just got like, what are we doing here?
Which
Walking Dead, I don't think anybody started hating. They just stopped talking about it.
yeah,
Right?
so
They just kind of stopped talking.
yeah, I think it's interesting you said that because, like, with season 3, the Prison Break, I really look back on it quite fondly. Lechero is one of my favorite characters in that. But
Season 4 was by far the worst.
And
No,
season
season
5.
3 was like We don't talk about season
Cannula
4.
Otis, let's
Like,
bring that
nobody
love, that mini series. Ridiculous. No, season 4 is ridiculous because it's like it's lost all nonsensical. Like the prison break as well, the dynamic. They shouldn't have got out of the prison for the first 2 seasons or so. They could have extended that for a
Yeah.
while. I don't know why they were so rushing to get out
Yeah.
of there. Like the second season's good, first season's good. I think the third season's okay. It's not terrible. The fourth one's horrible. The
Yeah.
fifth one's even more ridiculous. TV movie was okay, but it's trying to wrap up things. Walking Dead, yes, you're right. I think it's got a cult following because obviously the comics as well and the games from
Sure.
Telltale.
Yeah.
But it lags and it lags. And the thing is with Walking Dead is one of the most infuriating TV shows because there's like 2 good episodes in a season. So the rest is all just padding and filler. Like every season has like 1 or 2 high episode ends. Otherwise, no, it falls off. So it's like when you compare it to the first season of Lost. Lost's first season is like 10s, 9s, 8s across the board for episodes. This show, no, it just falls off. And it's like you're constantly waiting for Lost to, for Walking Dead to spoon feed you something like, oh, it's a dramatic twist or something.
Yeah.
And it's like it relies on that. So it basically relies on
When
characters
was,
getting killed off.
when was Negan first introduced?
Ooh, I think it was about season 7 or something, give or take. He comes in quite late.
Yeah, because like that's what I mean. Like he came in late, and I think it was after Negan season that like people just stopped talking. I don't remember a lot of hate like in Game of Thrones. Like the later seasons of
6.
Game of Thrones, people hated it. Okay, yeah. But like, yeah, just people just stop talking about it. But like, if you were back in 2010, oh my god, dude, Walking Dead was Stranger Things hype. Walking Dead was the Stranger Things hype, where like everybody talked about it, all the merchandise, everybody was freaking out about Walking Dead. I had my friends move to Atlanta just to be in the vicinity.
Yeah.
That's how big it was in 2010. But like then, like, yeah, I think when Stranger Things came out, I think people just stopped talking about Walking Dead entirely.
Well,
They just stopped.
Yeah, because it's like AMC's chasing a
The
formula which is,
mainstream stopped
yeah,
talking
the
about it.
mainstream.
I should
The mainstream stopped it because AMC was chasing a formula which was outdated to Netflix because Netflix has that entire subscription service. Full season comes out, Walking Dead, you're waiting weekly, and it's like there's like a lot of issues with like how TV was adapting at that time. I think The Walking Dead also suffered from Negan doing what he does to Glenn because obviously it is established that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it kind of relates to what I was saying before with Rob Stark. That you kill Rob Stark off, people are like, oh, it's like impact, but then it's like, is there a payoff from it? And like with Game of Thrones, there is sort of a payoff in terms of the story continues, but it leaves a massive void in the place where there's a main character. Because like that's one thing you have to really be worried about as a storyteller. If you kill off your main character in a certain way, same as like Last of Us with Joel as well, you have to be ready for the impact from the audience, which is that some people will lag off the series or they won't like it anymore because you killed off the hero. Like killing off the hero is always a kind of like really risky move. Very few times it executes fully and it pays off. So I think with The Walking Dead, obviously season 6 ends with the conclusion. It ends and then begins with season 7 where Glenn dies with, Fingy. And I think that really hit people where it was like, nah, I'm bailing on this. And some people are kind of like that as well for it. Yeah, very, very, very difficult show to kind of go through. And then obviously Andrew Lincoln left later in the series, which, that's kind of like in itself, like slow, just when you're like, come on, let's just end this. I love Norman Reedus. I love my boy. He's Sam in Another Lifetime carrying packages, but like Norman Reedus can't carry a show on his own like that. And there's too many things going on. Again, The Walking Dead, if you compare it with like Lost, it doesn't concentrate itself. It focuses too many on different characters. So one of the things that Lost does really effective if you watch it, Jack's usually the central character moving around and you have Kate and Sawyer moving with him. But then there's a flashback episode which focuses on one main character. So it's like Saeed's character starts getting explored in that. So what you're not doing is you're not bouncing off every other character at the same time. If you do not see Michael in an episode, doesn't matter. Michael's just doing things. Walt's probably done something. He's like disappeared. You don't need to know what's happened there. But with The Walking Dead, it's constantly flip. And it's like you're flipping to characters who aren't even that interesting. It's like, I don't care about this priest guy that's here. Who cares about him? He's boring. And The Walking Dead suffers from a lot of plot armor as well and jeopardy. It eventually kills someone, but it has a lot of things where it's like, well, Rick's not going to die. 12 seasons later, he dies. It's like, oh, damn. Really, really weird show. So, so we just got a massive tangent, but thank you, Lost fan, for Lost. We always like to talk about that.
Yes.
And I'll move back to Kevin Kestis here because I think we'll go back into the rotation. We'll get Kevin Kestis and I think Kevin Lackner in one or two more times, and then we'll end this part of the episode. So let's have a quick look here. Adam, let's go with that one. Both of you, both of your top 5 games of all time, go.
Of all time, Man, so automatically, okay, so no particular order. I'm just going
Before
to
you answer,
col
only
yeah.
one entry per franchise.
Oh, yeah. 100%. This is no particular order. I'm like putting these 5 games in my suitcase to go on a desert island for the rest of my life. And I have to take 5. One of them, 100% is Expedition 33. Like
Wow.
that is in the top 3 games of all time. So that's sticking in my bag. Like that's going with me. I don't care. Um, a second one is going to be Halo 2.
Mm.
100%. Halo 2 is gonna come in my bag. So Expedition 33, Halo 2. Um, Man, this is a tricky one. So I said 2. What are 2 for you that are like automatic?
I was gonna say you should pack your Ouya into your suitcase here as well, so you can play them on. Do you remember that thing?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. um,
Yeah.
so for me, you also need to take your leads as well
Mm.
in that suitcase and the console. Just going to put that out there. Before, so if I could pick like from one franchise, it would just be Metal Gear Solid 1 through 5, but I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah, one per franchise, yeah.
So the first one would be obviously.
Yeah.
My favorite game in the series is Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots, but I think at this point I would. This is really difficult actually because I think Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty is the best game in the franchise personally, but
Mm.
it's got to be Metal Gear Solid 1. I'd put Metal Gear Solid 1 as the first one. It's too obvious for me to say it, and I'm not going to really hide it later on until like some surprise. It would be Metal Gear Solid 1. It's one of the greatest games ever made. Like Jesus, everything it did in the cinema, film, game, genre, medium, still reeling the impact of this franchise. It's such a clever game. Such a clever game. Like you can't imagine many games where you basically go through the entire game and you can go through the game without killing all the Foxhound members. Like you can just go through the entire game and not kill a single guard. And that's such a smart idea. Like it's just one of the subtle ideas of a guy who made a game based off the Great Escape. And it's like, look at what it achieved. So Metal Gear Solid 1 would be the first one. And then number 2 would be Gears of War. Gears of War had a massive impact on my
Yeah.
life. Like
Oh,
revolutionary. Like I like Gears of War got such a bad rep because it was
dang.
in 2006 eras of like bro shooters and everyone labeled Cliff Bleszinski as a bro boy because he was having a chainsaw gun and stuff. Gears of War is so nuanced, and the first Gears of War for me, oh my god, you name me
Mhm.
something like that has spawned since then, nothing. And like Gears changed third person
Yeah.
shooting, its multiplayer is unbelievable. I was a full on Xbox boy. I remember that back in the day. At that point, it was just unbelievable, unbelievable game. So I think like it would
Yeah.
probably be the first two would be Metal Gear Solid and Gears of War. I'd pick.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw in Life is Strange, the first one. I gotta throw that one in. Like I replayed it again. I replayed it again. There's just still like it doesn't get
It's got the
old for me,
magic. It's
like
got the
at all.
magic.
It does. It has the magic. And I'm gonna name one more, and I'll give you back the
Ooh.
mic. I'm gonna go Pokemon Crystal. Pokemon Crystal.
Ooh, that's
Because it
interesting.
combines gold and silver into one. So I'm specifically picking out Pokemon Crystal.
Okay, I like those picks. Oh yeah, Life is Strange is a good one. Crystals. Oh, crystals. Oh, the memories, man. Do you know what as
Yeah.
well? Like, because if you're young and you haven't like grown up like me and Adam and old, you do
Yeah.
not realize how weird it was in the pre-internet age or like the early internet age to basically discover that you could like swim across the ocean and you'd end up in Kanto. Like that was the
Yes.
most
Yes.
mind-blowing thing for any. I remember when we all figured out as a kids, as like in primary school, we were all like mind. It was like holy effing hell! It's like you can actually go across this little ocean and go into the Kanto. This is unbelievable. And even with like that as well, one of my favorite parts is how the game ends, which is with Red at the top of the mountain because it's basically your character from the first game, and he's like sat on the mountain waiting for like the challenger you to return to kind of challenge him for his throne, and the music, the dun dun dun. Ah, nostalgia. This is great nostalgia. So my pick would be bouncing off what you said. I think I'm going to go with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Probably just Heart Gold at this point because I think whilst Crystal
Yeah.
Silver and Gold are great, I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver were the perfect remakes. Like the
Mhm.
Pokemon Company and the way that they did that Game Freak. Oh my! I think that's a genuinely a perfect scale for scale remake of something which was just
Mm.
refined in the right areas Oh, Chef's Kiss, man. I love those games. I think they were fantastic to kind of complete it. I also do think as well, I think like top 5, I think Pokemon has to be in some way, shape, or form. I think it's so impactful. Like it's such an
Yeah.
impactful game there. So that would be my number 3 in that point. I think number 4 will be it's a couple of things that go over my head. Trying to see if I can
Yeah.
keep Life is Strange out here. Life is Strange might not even make top 5 at this point.
Yeah. I know.
Oh,
Gears of War is not going to be my top 5, surprisingly.
oh. Do you know what? Life is Strange is not going to make my top 5 at this point. It's going to fall out, I think. It's going to fall out. No, I'll make an honorable mention for the other one, which is I feel tragic for leaving it out, but we'll come back onto it. I will put Life is Strange in at this point. I think Life is Strange, I can't overlook it. It's just too impactful. It's just... I don't like that.
Again, I'm replaying the original right now, and I'm just like, it's just not going to get old for me at all. Like the art style, the music, the choices you can make, like it's just never going to get old.
No, it's not. And I think the big thing for me was that Square messed up capitalizing on the success of that game even more. Like in hindsight, obviously we're all genius, but I think that game, they could have made so much more money from it. It's like this TV show, for example. 10 years too late, man. If you would have done that in 2015, 16, 17, 18, the show would, the franchise would be massive now. It would have rode that Netflix like momentum straight into the stratosphere. So yeah, the first Life is Strange is something really special about it. And you know, for me to talk to Michelle about it and Luke as well, that really like was a special moment for me. Like they really touched my life in a lot of ways. And I think I can't leave it out. So yeah, Life is Strange would be number 4 there in at least the top 5. Not in an order this, it's just in the list.
Yeah. Last one, I'm cheating a little bit. Little bit. So it's a remaster and it's one game, but it combines 2, right? So it's technically 2 games, but I'm taking it with me. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster.
Of course.
Like that remaster was so good, dude. Like 3 and 4's remaster, Vicarious Visions, oh no. Those 2 games, taking that with me. I'm never gonna get tired of Tony Hawk. So absolutely Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster is gonna come. So I got what did I say was my first one? I know Halo 2. What was my first
Expedition
one?
33.
Thank you. Yeah, so Expedition 33, Halo 2, Pokemon Crystal, Life is Strange, and Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remaster.
Oh, very nice. I would give you an honorable mention. I'm thinking about an honorable mention. You can put it into the list if it just didn't fit the suitcase.
Okay.
But yeah, those are very.
My honorable mention is Gears 2. Absolutely Gears 2. I was going to be my honorable mention.
I love Gears 2. What a game that was unbelievable. Like they just made something really special with that game. The Horde and all the other mechanics. Yeah. So those are all great picks. Number 5.
Oh, shoot! No, wait. I'm nixing it. So I won't cheat now. I won't cheat. I'm going to take one game. Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remaster. Kevin said like, no, it can only be one game. It can't be a combination of 2. So that's out of my suitcase. Ollie Ollie World is going in my suitcase. Ollie Ollie World is going in my suitcase, dude. That game's coming with me. So Tony Hawk's out. Ollie Ollie World's in.
Do you know that Lenny meme where he's like pulling off the numbers off it of like days of like not without the explosion? This is without Ollie Ollie World being mentioned. That's do you know what as well? I was did you notice the moment in the Lost Records Journal podcast when you mentioned Ollie Ollie World or something along those lines about skating, and Luke's face you could just see change, and I'm like, he knows. He knows about that. And it always makes me laugh, that interview we did with Alejandro, and it's like we're just talking normally. He's like, yeah, I bought Ollie World just before you asked me. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, we didn't even ask you at this point. He's like, I've seen it. Like, I've seen you tweeting at Luke about it. So I also bought it just before thingy. But yeah, Ollie World's not been mentioned for a long time on this podcast. Wow, it's made a comeback.
I know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So
I repurchased it on PlayStation, so it's with me now.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's hard to get rid of Tony Hawk. So I know
I gave a talk at the Oak City. So I gave a talk and I mentioned Ollie Ollie World in my talk. I said it was the greatest game of all time. So that's officially in my talk.
So yeah, it's funny though, because like when you said Tony Hawk, that's hard to get out there as well. Because it always like, the minute that someone says that, I just remember like the Ace of Spades, Sum 41, Avril Lavigne, just like anything that's to do with skating in like that era. Like, oh my God, it just like makes me feel so nostalgic for the 90s and the 2000s. Oh, yeah, great pick though. So my final one. So at the moment, I have Metal Gear I wish I remember. Metal Gear, Gears of War, Life is Strange, and Heart Gold. I think it was. If I was going to pick Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the same thing anyway. So the four of them. Number 5 has to be. Why was I getting confused? What was the other game? I was going to leave the other game out. So the other game I've got left out, which I'll mention in a minute. So, there's 2 game. Oh no, there's 3 game. Oh my god, this is even more difficult as it is.
Dude.
So, okay, I'm going to make a decision. Number 5 would have to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, not the recent one.
Whoa.
We're talking about Infinity
No.
Ward.
With Frost.
Yeah, like that was that era of run of Call of Duty, World at War 4, Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops. Oh my god, you lived the peak era of Call of Duty. I was still an Xbox player at that point. Like, my god, we were eating so good with Call of Duty and Gears of War at the same time in that era. That was the peak era of multiplayer gameplay. I would probably put Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 because I think it's the perfect third-person shooter game and a sequel as well. I think it's one of the most perfect sequels ever because the story mode is unbelievable. Like, that entire General Shepard storyline, soap, everything else is amazing. I didn't think the Spec Ops is weak compared to Zombies, but that's just as it is. It's a component. But the multiplayer, the maps, the kill streaks. Oh my god, this was the most peak game ever. I think Vince Zampella and Jason West are genius. It didn't go, it didn't go unbelievable for Titanfall because like Titanfall's just, it's hard to capture a lightning in a bottle moment again. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was the peak of the franchise for me. It was one of the greatest shooter games ever. Call of Duty 4 is great, but I think that's more nostalgia than what Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 did. It took everything and refined it and made it better. And it was like, if you were there from the beginning, the Model 1887s could kill someone across the maps with like the Terminator-esque shotguns that they were, and you just like fucking took someone out. Oh my god, yeah. So I think Modern Warfare 2 would be up there for me as that. Honorable mentions, I do have 2 because the other one popped up. The first one would be Super Mario World on the SNES.
Okay. Oh, World. Yeah.
Which was, oh my god, that Shigeru Miyamoto game is just, oh my god. Whenever like Kojima says like Miyamoto influence, I'm like, every time I think about Super Mario World on the SNES, oh my god, it's even when Bowser's in his little like lantern thing when he's like flying in the sky in that game. And you have that massive groovy music that's playing when you go into his lair. It's like dun, 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 dun. It's like, oh my god, this is amazing. One of the greatest platforming games I've ever played. That Super Mario World, I think it's unbelievable. The other honorable mention, which is it's hard to lose that way, is it's Resident Evil 4. It's unbelievable. Like, oh my god, it's so hard to leave that out there. But
that's why, like, whenever we talk about your top 10 games, I can't put it in a particular order. There's just a pile of like games that like really impacted me. But I have to put Halo 2 in my like top 5 because it has stained me. Like I am like the music, the gameplay, like it has it in the same way that the very first Hoobastank album, their self-titled album, that stained me, dude.
Yeah.
It that stained me. My Chemical Romance, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, that came out when I was 13, dude.
Yeah.
So like that first like entry into emo, and it was My Chemical Romance when I was 13. It stained me, dude.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, when I think about my top 5, I think about games that like have stained me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think it's so when you start looking back, you start seeing like other creators, like when Michelle's with like Twin Peaks and other things, you start seeing the influence it has on you. And like for me, there's quite a few of them. BioShock really stained me as well. That was an unbelievable game. The first BioShock, like, oh my god, it was like transformative for its impact on me. But yeah, I think like just leaving Miyamoto kills me a little bit because like Resident Evil 4 went a little bit too haywire afterwards because they tried to copy his imitation. But that fourth game is unbelievable. Like there's a third person shooter kind of pivoting away from survival horror into action horror and kind of focusing. Oh my god, it's like with Miyamoto, it's like Terminator 2-esque levels of like making a sequel where you go from making a great film to like making an even better sequel. The first Resident Evil is fantastic, but like the Terminator Resident Evil 4 just blows out of the water in terms of what it's actually doing. And like, oh my god, those lines as well. Like some of those lines are just so funny. It had that perfect level of like cheesiness, American cheesiness infused into Japanese culture. And I loved every minute. And that's why I love Miyamoto and Kojima. They bounce off each other because they have that American influence. And it's like, they just put out a really cheesy line. And it's like, where's everyone going? bingo, and it's like,
Yes.
like yes, like I live for these moments, man. I live. That is absolute cinema, Martin Scorsese. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, unbelievable, unbelievable. So yeah, those top 5, very much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Adam, I think we should have one more question from Kevin
Yes.
Lackner, and then we can pick up from the Lost Fans' final question in the next part. So let's go to K Dog or second K Dog or first K
Second
Dog,
K-Dog.
whichever one he is. I'm gonna try and pick out. Oh, let's do this one because it's a bit easier. Looking forward to the next Fireside episode. Yeah, so am I actually, Kevin, as well.
Yeah.
I wonder where she's gone.
What's happened? Yeah.
She bailed on her commitments. That's what she's done. Oh my god, like that woman. If you guys knew what life she lives, it's actually like watching. If she was writing a biography, it'd be 300 pages, and most of them would be comedy. It's just like watching like the most like beautiful like symphony of things that just like happen. Yeah, she's very funny though. I do need to meet up with her at some point. I need to probably in the week that I'm off. I'm doing Sam Bradley's interview. I'll try and bring the podcast back with her because like. Do you know what? I just don't like. If you haven't go and follow her on TikTok as well, because you get a bit of expose into her life, and it's just like you watch it, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what is she doing? I'm like, what is she going at from this? It's like, yeah, she's very funny though. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. You should message her that as well and tell her that you're looking forward to the next episode. She's probably just disappeared somewhere, but no, she's well though. I'm keeping an eye on her. She's just busy with a lot of things. And yeah, very, very, very much looking forward to hopefully getting an episode out with her at some point. Abby, if you're watching this, usually she's cleaning her mold in her house when she's watching this podcast. She tells me, yeah, she does that, by the way, if you're wondering. She's like, I put it on when I'm cleaning. And then she's like, I sometimes listen to it. And Adam's like, he's like, Lava. So I'm like, oh, I have to like put something on whilst I'm doing it because it's like moving back and forth. No, she's very cool. So yeah, we'll hopefully see her one day soon. That's the main one. So we'll wrap up there. So thank you for joining us for the first part. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know your top 5. Let us know whatever. Let us know your Life is Strange rankings in the comments. That's the main one. Let's see what you're going to put there. It's always a controversial picks that people have. And yeah, we'll sign off here. So thank you so much for joining us. If you are new here, please do consider dropping a subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video, share with your friends. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. You can check us out on Spotify with the video version, Apple Podcasts. You can go and check us out there. You're smiling. I feel like you're interrupting me here.
Yes.
What are you
Go
doing?
for it.
Like,
oh, nothing.
No, come on. You set this up now. We can't sign off here with like you smiling.
I'm prepping for another question.
Right, okay, fair enough. There we go. There's the excitement of that. So we'll wrap up here. So yeah, you find us on all those services. A big shout out to our Patreon subscribers. So Kevin Lackner, Sunday, Clare McLoughlin, Jake, Carly, Goldberry, Kevin Kestis, Clarx, MrAnselmi, Spunger, The Lost Fan. I'm going to get this hopefully right. It's Paul Groschke. I got the pronunciation up there. And then Xavier as well. And I think with MrAnselmi, it's Anselmi. I got the pronunciation. I might mess that up. But yes, thank you all to your support. And thank you for the names as well. It's always nice reading the names as well. But yeah, you can support us on Patreon. There will be a Patreon incentive available in November for a custom-made podcast for the people who are on the $5 tier. Hopefully there'll be more interviews. Just getting Sam Bradley's out. I've got a couple of ideas. I was brainstorming with Adam before the podcast, so hope you look forward to when hopefully we can get some of those off the ground. And yeah, stay tuned for Side B because there's a lot more questions to come in there. Some interesting questions in there as well. So we'll see you later, guys. Bye.
Later.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.